I'm still learning this song, so it's hard to play it all the way through. This is my second attempt at making a tutorial on dirt, and it's actually the first time I have done a guitar tutorial. I'm not a guitar teacher or a very good guitarist or very good singer, but I wanted to give back to the YouTube community because I've certainly learned a ton of songs by watching other people's tutorials. So this is how I play Dirt by Searows. I had the pleasure of meeting Searows last week at a record store and was completely blown away. My two favorite songs on the new album are Belly of the Whale and Dirt, and he opened with those two songs, and I was basically frozen for the duration of those two songs. I couldn't move. I couldn't look up at him. I just had tears streaming down my face, and I just felt like I was transported to a different place. It was super intense, absolutely beautiful. And Searows was just such a humble, open spirit. I just am so grateful to have met him. So anyway, this is how I played Dirt. I was able to ask Searows about the tuning for this song, and he said it was an open C-sharp chord with one of the strings tuned down. So I played around tuning down different strings and discovered that if I tuned the G string down 2 steps, it sounded like this. And that high E is going to sound a little bit sharp, and you'll see why in just a moment. So then I noticed for this song, he had a capo on the 3rd fret, but when I capoed the 3rd fret, that high E string was too high. And so I left it out of the capo, and I got this chord. And based on the chord shapes he was making with his left hand, which are pretty easy to see when you watch him live, I'm pretty confident that this is the correct tuning for this song and also for several other songs on Death and the Business of Whaling, except without the capo. So in terms of chords, he's doing all the chords with his index and pinky fingers. The verse has 3 chords. The first one, starting with the 6th string, is 4th fret, 4th fret, 7th fret, open, 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 and those frets are in relation to the capo. So that first chord sounds like this. The second chord is all open except for the 4th fret, 4th string. And the last chord is 2nd, 2nd, 7th, open, open, open. And then he returns to the first chord and then slides down to the 2nd chord. So if I was just strumming, because it's hard for me to finger pick, I'm still learning to play this song, it would sound something like this. Alaska, little I know, in the grass outside the fence where it's all overgrown and it's not feeling good. The same clenching in my throat, no, no. So he repeats that for the second part of the verse. And then for the chorus, there's 4 chords. Back to this first chord for 3 bars, and then this transitionary chord, which is 779000 in relation to the capo, and then slides down to this chord, which we know, and then to this chord, back to the first chord, and then the transitionary chord, and then back down to this chord. Till the ground pulls you down to the dirt I knew we'd always come back to. And how do I feed you? Will you keep this up till something completes you? So after the chorus, he goes into a humming section, and I'm not a very good hummer either, so I'm not going to even try that. But basically goes from this chord to this chord, which we already know, but then he slides the pinky down to the 4th fret for this transitionary chord, and then opens up to this familiar chord here. So I'll play that slowly. And that's not only played there after the first chorus, but then again after the second chorus, and all through the outro, as far as I can tell. So after that second chorus, he does the humming again, and then gets on the harmonica, and that's how the song ends, with that same chord sequence. So those are the 3 chord sequences in the song. As far as the picking pattern, it's an unconventional picking pattern if you're trained classically. So essentially, his thumb, index, and middle finger look like a 3-legged man that's walking along the strings like this. And it's unconventional in that he's picking 6, 4, 3, 5, 3, 2, 4, 1. And so that's thumb, index, middle, thumb, index, middle, thumb, middle, as far as I can tell. So I'll try to play where you can see my right hand. I'll try to go slow. So just from the verse portion, it'd be. So that finger picking pattern goes through the entire song, as far as I can tell. So as long as you do the chord changes at the appropriate time and keep that finger pick pattern going, that should take you through the whole song. I hope I covered everything this time. If I missed anything, leave a comment below, and I hope this is helpful for you guys. Good luck.